Hi everyone. I wanted to answer a question that I got asked today because actually it's probably the third or fourth time in the last couple of weeks that somebody has asked me this question, and also it's a question that I get asked all the time, so I thought I'd go live, answer it so that you can all refer back to it, and if anybody has any questions whilst I'm here, I'll try and answer them as I'm free for the next few minutes. So somebody came into their lesson today and they played me a snippet of one of their favourite artists and said, how does he do that? I can't do that. How does he do it? And my answer was, I don't know, and I can't answer that. I can guess, but what we're listening to isn't real. So when we listen to a recording, we're not actually hearing what actually happened in the room when that person did what they did. So it's made me think a lot about how unhealthy it is to compare yourself to recordings of your favourite artists, and how unuseful it can be. It's all very well listening to them and loving them and enjoying them and being like, wow, that was really cool what that guy did and I'd like to be able to do that. But comparing yourself and questioning why you can't do the same thing doesn't help at all. And these are the reasons why. So the first one is quite obvious. That person isn't you. So their voice is going to be different to yours. Their anatomy is going to be different to yours. Their lifestyle is different to yours. Their experiences that have led them to that point in their life is different to yours. So there is literally no point in comparing yourself to that person and wondering why you can't do things that they can do and why they sound different to you, because they're not you. So I know that tends to get a reaction from people saying, but I want to be that good and I want to be able to do that. And that's fine, but you're still you and you need to approach it in a different way. Oh, look, my mum's watching. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so the second reason why you shouldn't compare yourself to recordings of your favourite artists or people who are really successful is that what we're hearing when we're listening to a produced recording is a culmination of the best takes that a person did over a period of time. So it's not just, for example, if we listen to Beyonce, obviously she's one of the greatest vocalists, matter of opinion, but around at the moment she's very hardworking, but we're also hearing the best of her takes in one particular session. So if you compare someone at their absolute best and the best of their attempts at singing something to your attempt, one of your attempts at home, then it's just not a level playing field and it's quite unrealistic. So what you're hearing on a recording is the best take that they did, their best attempt at reaching a certain goal. So comparing yourself to that is not going to reach, and it's not going to give you any kind of realistic feedback. It's only going to make you feel rubbish. So another one to think about is that what we're hearing when we listen to a recording is not actually human. You're listening to something digital. So although at one point it was a human being singing in a room, it's through at least, many digital filters that we're hearing it. So through a microphone, which has then been passed through all kinds of other equipment that I don't even know about. It's been enhanced, it's been mixed, it's had all kinds of stuff done to it that makes it sound a certain way. So what you're hearing is not human. Whereas when you're by yourself or practicing your singing wherever you are, you're human, so you can only do what a human being can do. Sure, you can practice and get better at what you do, but you can't be a digital piece of equipment, so you cannot compare yourself to those two different things. So I quite often when people ask me this question, I use the analogy of when we see models in magazines and we go, why don't I look like that? The answer is exactly the same. First of all, it's not you. Second of all, that person spends their whole life training to be a model or whatever. So they're on a certain program, a certain diet, they have certain exercises that they do on a regular basis to be at the top of their game, you know, in a certain way. And when we're listening to vocalists recorded on, you know, albums and things, they've lived a certain lifestyle so that they can be at the top of their game for these recordings. So they're prepared and they're elite. Another thing is that, you know, the amount of hours of preparation on the day of a recording that goes into it. So models, they will sit in makeup for hours, hair and makeup for hours and hours, and they'll have all these different people around them to help make them look a certain way. And it's the same, you know, same for singers. They will have had training, they will have worked with a coach. You know, the recording studio will have been set up a certain way to enhance a certain sound, you know. So it's again, there's so much that goes into it. What else happens? So there's the photographer is going to be amazing. And the same for a singer, they're going to work with engineers and producers who also have a creative input, you know, and they're going to bring their skills to it. And then, like, the last point that I can think of is that all the editing that goes into it afterwards that just refines and enhances what was already there, but makes it kind of beyond the realms of what a normal person looks like or sounds like. So none of what you're really hearing on a recording is realistic in terms of comparing yourself to a recording. So, okay, that might sound a little bit depressing. It's not to say you can't be that good, you can, but when you're working on your singing and you're maybe comparing yourself to idols and people who are successful, you know, think about what you can do in that moment to make yourself better, rather than trying to replicate something that has so many hours of preparation, so many outside inputs that go into it. Can you actually do that when you're just singing at home? You know, probably not. So think about the things that you can control and the things that you can get better at, you know, and work on those, so that when you do some kind of recording, or if you do work with a producer, you can be as prepared as you can, as you possibly can be. And then when those additional filters and techniques are applied to it, you will be in the best position possible to sound as good as those people that you idolize and listen to. So I hope that helps. I'm actually doing a vocal recording workshop on the 28th of January with Martin Lumsden from the Cream Room in Dane End. So if any of you are interested in learning a bit more what goes on in the recording process, then you should come along to it. There is an event on Facebook for it. If I can attach it to this, I don't know if I can, I will. If not, message me or email me and I can give you the information about it. I can't actually see if anyone's written anything. Oh, my mum wrote hi. So I'm going to write hi back to her. If I can. I've never done this before. Hi, Mum. There you go. Pleasing myself. Okay, so if any of you have any questions, I feel like that came across really negatively, but it was meant to be positive. It was meant to be actually, don't compare yourself to something that isn't real, and focus on what you can do and how you can make yourself better. Because when you listen to a recording, there is so much more that has gone into it than the raw material of just singing on your own in a room. So if I haven't depressed you too much, send me a message, write any questions, and I will try my best to answer them. But otherwise, come along to the workshop. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Bye.